Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Healthcare Heroes, where we recognize our dedicated frontline staff and managers. I'm Sandy Potter, joining you today from my home studio, along with Masonicare President and CEO, Venoit, and Bethany, our Director of Therapeutic Recreation and Volunteer Services at Masonicare Health Center. Thank you both so much for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Bethany, when the COVID-19 pandemic began, it became clear very early on that the best course of action to keep our residents safe was to go into a quarantine lockdown situation. You and your team really stepped up to help keep the residents socially engaged. Can you tell everyone what you've been doing during this time?
Absolutely. So as we know, meaningful engagement is the core of well-being. And now more than ever, it's really been a focus because the outside resources really were limited. We really had to use what we had inside to try to keep together and kind of stay alive here. So what we've been doing is really drilling down on what meaningful engagement means to each individual resident and trying to come up with different plans specific to the people within the means of what we have while following infection control policies and trying to make sure we keep everybody safe. So some of the things that we were trying to do was find people that had similar interests and kind of pair them up together. One of the things is encouraging residents to self-direct their leisure, but also with guidance from the staff, be it the recreation staff and even the staff on the floor. Because we did have to become so closed off, we really had to rely on each other to be that support system. So whatever we could do to try to create some sort of joy throughout the day was what became our focus. So finding some different common interests, even up on 5 Ramage, there's a group that gets together every single day and does a rosary group. So this was something that we had facilitated prior to the COVID-19 outbreak. And due to the need to really kind of close down the different units, the residents really kept it going themselves, which is incredible. So that's been something that we've been really proud of, to kind of see how a lot of people have been able to self-direct their leisure through this and still keep a really positive attitude, which is huge.
That's really great to hear. And JP, I know you're so proud of the commitment of Bethany and her entire team.
Just hearing the story. So we've been doing this Unsung Heroes for a few weeks now, and every single time I hear the stories, it warms my heart, and it reaffirms what we talk about all the time. It's the little things that make such a difference that ultimately makes our residents' life really better and more outgoing, to have the ability for our residents to enjoy, even during this isolation, to have our staff being there for them when they don't have anybody else right now. And Masonicare is fortunate enough to have great leaders right here in front of me, and their staff who are doing amazing things each and every day. And I think Masonicare is where it is today because of what they do. And I congratulate all of our staff for everything that they're doing for our residents.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bethany, as we continue into these summer months, I know you've begun to facilitate in-person visits with family members and residents at the health center. What has it been like to experience that, families coming together and seeing each other after several months apart?
Anytime we can connect families and the residents, it's that unity of life, and it's an absolutely beautiful thing. And it's one of those things when it comes to what do you enjoy in your life? Connecting with people and good food. So if we can do a piece of that, we're happy to do that. Prior to our in-person visits, we received some donations of iPads, which were amazing. So we were able to start the family and resident reuniting connection about 19 weeks ago. So we had started the FaceTime, Duo, Zoom, GoToMeeting. We've learned all different kinds of platforms, and our residents have learned a lot of the lingo too. And we've actually been able to facilitate 2,000 426 video visits with families and their residents. So one of the silver linings to all this is that with the kind of slowdown, if you will, and people needing to work from home and needing to stay home, who maybe weren't the essential workers, we've had a lot of families have a lot more availability to be able to connect with their loved ones. So we've been able to connect people that haven't really had a chance to talk or to see each other in quite some time. So that was a really amazing thing to be a part of. And we really enjoyed continuing those. And then we were able to kind of start the in-person visits, which nothing is like getting to see somebody face to face. The video chats are wonderful, but having that face-to-face connection 6 feet apart with masks on is still better than nothing. But we started that about 10 weeks ago. The weather has been really great for the most part. So being outside, getting a little fresh air, connecting with families. We've facilitated 1,147 of those in-person visits so far. And that has been incredible to see the residents get excited about it, to see the families get excited about it, and to be able to get them together it's been honestly a privilege.
Watching, coming into the main entrance and seeing the families all seeing their loved ones and the laughing that's happening, it's amazing. And you wouldn't think family members coming to see their loved ones outside and peeking in per se, you wouldn't think that would be so emotional, but it's truly emotional seeing it. And you could see the residents, their eyes are glowing. Even through their mask, you can feel that smile of the family members being part of it and being able to lay eyes. Video is nice, and it's great that we're able to do it, but still having that close connectivity of seeing that their loved ones it's amazing.
Yeah, it really is just so special, and I know it means the world to residents and their families. Bethany, we can't thank you and your team enough for your compassion and your dedication to all of them, and we are all very lucky to have you. You are definitely, as JP says, Masonicare strong. So thank you so much.
Great job.
It's a team effort, and I'm just happy to be a small part of it.
Well, thank you for being here today and sharing this story with us. And thank you all for watching at home. I'm Sandy Potter, and we'll hope you join us next week for another edition of Healthcare Heroes. Until then, be well.